Joining us now with stories trending around the world is OjyOkpe. Good morning, Junix.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Perfect. Good morning, Ayo. Thank you for that beautiful special message for Mela. Good morning. Rufy, you're on fire. How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Perfect. I can tell you're fine. We know what you have been up to.
I was the one singing for Mela and you didn't even thank me for anything.
No. How many thanks you? Oh, guess what? Mela said thank you very much, actually.
So if I didn't
you were the only one that Mela noticed.
No, when is the implication?
You were the only,
I was standing around yesterday.
You were the only one Mela noticed.
What date have you chosen?
For the implications. What about the end of the month?
How's that?
Anytime, please. Anytime. We are ready.
All right,
you see people are jubilating in the studio already.
Dr. Abati, don't put me in trouble in this austerity. Biko Kwano. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending by taking reactions to Vice President Kashim Shettima's criticism of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria for holding the nation to ransom after what he called a minor labor dispute. Speaking at the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja on Monday, the Vice President faulted PENGASSAN's nationwide strike that commenced on September 28 over the dismissal of Nigerian workers by the Dangote Refinery. Although the strike was suspended on October 1st after the Dangote Group agreed to redeploy the sacked workers, Shettima defended Dangote, describing him as a leading light in Nigeria's economic parliament, saying that Dangote is not an individual, but an institution.
I want to dwell on something that is very dear, a topical issue that is very dear to the heart of every Nigerian. Aliko Dangote is not an individual, he's an institution. And he's a leading light in Nigeria's economic firmament. And how we treat this gentleman will determine how outsiders will judge us. If he had invested $10 billion in Microsoft, in Amazon, in Google, probably he might be worth $70 to $80 billion by now. But he opted to invest in his country, and we owe it to future generations to jealously protect, promote, preserve, and project the interests of this great Nigeria.
All right, a lot of reactions. I've trailed the story, and I'll take some posts on X. And this person wrote, a vice president should be careful not to sound like he's defending one businessman personally, but rather upholding the rule of law and fair competition. When the tone tilts too much towards one person, it can easily be seen as favoritism, especially by smaller entrepreneurs who may feel that the government only stands behind the big names. The message would have carried far more weight if it had focused on protecting every investor and every business that still believes in Nigeria, no matter their size or influence. After all, the river that forgets its small streams will soon dry. Every contributor to the nation's growth, big or small, deserves to be valued and protected. Well, another tweet there goes, as a business person, I agree with the VP. Dangote isn't just a man. He's an institution that has created jobs, driven investment, and opened doors for others. The way we treat builders like him sends a clear message to the world about doing business in Nigeria. Well, meanwhile, protesters took to the streets of Kaduna on Monday, accusing an oil import cartel of undermining local refinery efforts and calling on the federal government to protect the Dangote Refinery. The demonstration, organized by Partners for National Economic Progress, began peacefully at Maltala Square and proceeded through major roads. The protesters carried banners and sang solidarity songs condemning players in the fuel importation business for frustrating private refining initiatives. Let's take a look.
How can importer be competing with a producer? Now they can no longer compete. They are telling us about monopoly. You cannot deal with monopoly if you are not a producer. If you want to build refinery, go and invest in it. So what we are here to do is to urge Nigeria and to tell the president that he can actually end this sabotage, because it's a sabotage that is going on.
We expected the federal government to arrest the leadership of PENGASSAN to serve as a deterrent to those who may wish to hide under labor unions to commit crime. What they did was clearly not unionism but outright criminality. It should never repeat itself, never in our history anymore.
I see you smiling and laughing. I mean, I believe these protesters have the right to protest. I mean, you remember that Kaduna used to be one of the biggest industrialized cities where they even had the textile manufacturing industry there, and it's all closed down. And one of the protesters there made that comment saying, if we close down this Dangote Refinery, it's just going to be the same. But, I mean, what do you make of the vice president's speech as well, in terms of, you know, supporting Dangote in the way that he has? And, of course, one of the Twitter users was talking about the fact that we cannot just only support Dangote. Other small businesses will feel left out.
Absolutely. Okay, so many things this morning. Earlier I said that it was about time that the presidency spoke up, because this is, we've often talked about how Dangote Refinery serves a critical sector in Nigeria. And so when we talk about, a threat to energy security in the nation, a threat to revenue source in the nation, a threat to a group that provides, as the largest private group or private organization that provides the highest number of jobs in Nigeria, then we need to have conversations around this. So I'm glad that they spoke about that, and they actually call him an institution. And that's why we've said on this table that, yes, whilst PENGASSAN or any labor union has a right to collective bargaining and, using tools of strike actions to drive home their point, it must not be done at the expense of national security, energy security, or the livelihood of the nation and the people in the nation. Very clear, very important. And that's why we've also called even further for a look at the effectiveness of labor unions in Nigeria and the extent to which they can actually carry out their, protest or strike actions. I am in support of labor unions. I think they are critical to ensure, to protect the welfare and rights of workers in any nation. But I'm also very sensible to know that you cannot do that by sabotaging national assets and national security in this way. So, I'm glad that they talked about that. But also that tweet, very instructive as well, because I want to believe that what the presidency was saying, because he's often talked about, attracting investment to not just the oil and gas sector, but to various sectors in the economy. And one thing the vice president mentioned was what it signals to external investors. Which is so important. It doesn't look like there's an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Yes. And these are some of the criticisms when the president goes out to, invite investors to ask, do we have an environment in Nigeria that not just businesses, where a businessman, whether in Nigeria or abroad, can come in, put their money in, and recoup investments in an environment that is friendly to business. When we see actions like this, it negates that. And so when he was saying that, I think he also covered that. But instructive that, yes, Dangote Refinery is a critical national asset, but also our small businesses. And I'm hoping that this will be a lesson for us. Not just, but the Dangote Refinery will be an example of what other business owners face in Nigeria. Yes. Thankfully, he has the mass, he has the clout to make a lot of, to raise awareness about this. But how about those who don't have a voice? How about small business who have to grapple with multiple taxes, with the agberos on the road, with people who are coming to make business, running a business tough in Nigeria? So that's a critical point that the presidency should speak to the Dangote Refinery matter, but also look at the environment for business in Nigeria. I think it's a task for this administration, rather than just talking about let's bring in investment. What does bringing in investment look like for investors in Nigeria? Is it worth it? Is the business environment friendly enough? Are there cartels that will continue to block operations? And finally, on the very, it's good that people are going out to protest Kaduna, but beyond the textile industry in Kaduna, Oji, just very recent, Kaduna Refinery has not been working for so long. We've not seen any protests. This group that came out, it would be nice for them to also champion causes like that, because imagine if the refinery were working. Do you know how many people? Do you know how many people would be employed? Do you know how many? Do you know the contribution to the economy? So I think
what brief are you talking about? I don't understand you, Rufai. Are you saying something that we don't know? What brief are you talking about? Everyone has a right to protest.
No, everyone has
a right to protest.
It's not their brief to protest about Kaduna Refinery. They are protesting something. The brief is different.
So let's us be fair. Well, I mean,
I even heard you talking about, because I saw some videos. It's so important to support these businesses. Dangote Refinery is our own. It's unbelievable that he's been going through, the refinery and all of the process have been going through all this sort of sabotage, as it were. But let me come to this story. Well, these conversations involving PENGASSAN and Nigeria's Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, have resurrected an old clip of the late Nigerian military head of state, General Sani Abacha, from 1994 on social media, where he described both unions as unpatriotic and immediately dissolved them. Let's take a look.
We have come to the point when the situation can no longer be tolerated. It is in the overall national interest that these unpatriotic acts being perpetuated by the leadership of NUPENG and PENGASSAN be dealt with decisively. Accordingly, the executive of both unions, the NUPENG and the PENGASSAN, at both national and state levels are hereby dissolved. This action is with immediate effect. A sole administrator will be appointed immediately to oversee the affairs of both unions.
So you see, Rufai, it didn't just start now. This has been going on, but go ahead.
I agree with this clip, and I don't know why it's trending.
It's trending because
it's an aberration.
Yes.
Because what PENGASSAN was fighting for then was different. Mm-hmm. A country was under military rule.
It was under
a lot of
military
atrocities going on.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the PENGASSAN of then, I dove my heart for them, and I give a round of applause. The NUPEC of then, I dove my heart for them. This was the days of Franco Korea and cause of this world now. They fought for the democracy that politicians are now fritting away and squandering today.
All right.
So there's a clear difference. I yield the floor, Oji.
Fantastic. Well, we'll now move on to another story. In another development, Nigeria's power minister, Bayo Adelabu, has declared his intention to contest the 2027 governorship election in Oyo State, borrowing President Tinubu's famous phrase, "Emi Lokan," meaning it's my turn. Speaking at the event, Adelabu said he has paid his dues after losing 2 previous elections to incumbent governor Seyi Makinde in 2019 and in 2023. Let's take a look.
lóòótọ́ mo ti ń bá ìrìn àjò ìbọn ọjọ́ ti pẹ́. èmi gbàgbọ́ pé ọjọ́ tó bá dé lóṣèlú kọ́ lóorin tó mu kọ́ ló mu tó ń wá. àwa náà ti san dues wa a ti pay dues wa bẹ́ẹ̀ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́.
bẹ́ẹ̀ honestly.
àwa àti Ṣèyí náà lájọ ṣe 2019 àbí.
it is your
2023 Ṣèyí náà lájọ ṣe.
báwa
o ti wà lórí ìjókòó gbà yẹn àbí. 2027 yìí Ọlọ́run ti fi hàn pé àwa ló kàn o. àwa ló kàn. Adelabu ló kàn.
Pẹ̀kẹ̀lẹ̀ mẹ́s ló kàn.
Adelabu ti gbogbo wa náà ni. àpèmọ́lá ẹni là ń pè tẹ̀gídílé.
báwa.
èmi ló kàn 2027.
Adelabu ẹ̀yin ló kàn.
Isn't this interesting, guys? Let me take reactions. This person wrote on X, interesting, but if true service is the goal, or your people deserve to see the power in his current office reflect first before trusting him with the entire state. Leadership starts with performance, not promises, not by saying you have paid your dues or it's your turn. Well, Ben Samuel wrote on X, whenever we speak out, the blind fools among us will start their crying. Here we have a sitting minister of power out there campaigning to be governor in 2027 when his energies should be focused on the power sector. It hardly seems like Tinubu is truly steering his government. Otherwise, this will be an outright sackable offense. Meanwhile, another minister forged his university certificate, and our APC-led Senate still screened and confirmed him. Bow and go. When are we going to get this right? Meanwhile, Pastor Tunde Bakare, founder of Citadel Global Community Church, has revealed that he's under immense pressure to join the African Democratic Congress opposition coalition, but has firmly ruled out the possibility. While speaking on Saturday during his inaugural edition of the Citadel School of Governors Dialogue Series, Bakare said the last time he knew anything about the ADC, it was about a plane that crashed, adding that having given birth to a party like the APC, he wouldn't want to kill himself. Dr. Abacha, I'm coming to you on this story. I'll take this tweet, which has been trending on social media. This person wrote on X, APC is your child. Pastor, just come out and say you don't want to offend a very strong person. Another person wrote on X, Pastor Tunde Bakare should not gaslight Nigerians. He's part of APC and a staunch Tinubu supporter. Nobody wants him in the ADC or in any plan towards removing APC from government in 2027. Another ex-user wrote, that's the spirit of loyalty and consistency. Pastor Tunde Bakare understands that APC is a vision built on progress and reform. No matter the pressure, true leaders stand firm with their principles and legacy. Hashtag APC Renewed Hope. Obviously, that is an APC supporter. Dr. Abati, like I said, I'd like to come to you on the story. I want you to, tie those two stories together. First, we see the Minister of Power, campaigning heavily that he's going to, run the next election as governor. And now we also hear Pastor Tunde Bakare saying that APC is his child. Your thoughts on the story, and I'll come to you.
Okay, very quickly. This fairly straightforward.
Yes.
Adelabu, the Minister of Power, saying that, our Lokan, Lokan, that he would like to be the next governor of Oyo State. Well, it is within his rights to express his ambition and imitating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After all, it was Oscar Wilde who says that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Although Oscar Wilde also added that mediocrity pays to greatness. Yesterday, however, I was saying that, look, our Lokan, has become some kind of COVID-19 kind of affliction. Everybody wanting to be that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But it doesn't mean that while other persons express their ambition, it doesn't mean that they will be as successful or as capable as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in seeing that ambition to reality. But, our Minister of Power, Adelabu, is right to say, well, he too wants to be governor. It's a very legitimate thing to say. In fact, I was surprised. While he was speaking in Yoruba, there was one man there who said, Bawa. And I was shocked whether some Egba people have relocated into his camp.
What is Bawa?
In Egba land.
Yes.
When they say Baisi,
yes.
The answer is Bawa instead of the standard orthodox Yoruba.
What is Bawa?
Okay. Is it like this? That is the way it is.
Great.
Yeah, some Egba people looking also for stomach infrastructure were in the background in that matter. Okay, the same principle with regard to Pastor Tunde Bakare, namely about individual rights.
Yes.
And, the right to make your own choice. And Pastor Bakare, being a lawyer, is making it clear that, look, he doesn't want to be part of ADC that will crash. He's expressing his opinion. He says he's one of the founding fathers of the APC, and everyone knows that. And he's been involved in the process of political commentary in addition to his work as, a pastor, a shepherd in the Lord's vineyard. So he can also make his choice.
Yes.
Those who are saying he doesn't have the right to talk like that, no. they cannot dictate to him. He has the rights under the Constitution. And he can also, as I pointed out yesterday, participate in politics. He has the right of association, which is within the Constitution. Very quickly, as to some of the points you raised earlier, I think that Vice President Shettima is on point when he says that Aliko Dangote is an institution. Indeed, he is. To the extent that he has spent his entire career in the business space, creating opportunities for other people, creating jobs, building society, supporting governments, including governments that have tried to sabotage him, either openly or clandestinely. And he's a man that deserves to be honored. And so Vice President Shettima was right, telling the Nigerian Economic Summit that this is a man that should be supported. If we do not support him, investors, outsiders, will be discouraged from coming to invest, because they will say, if you don't treat your own man well, then what is it that we will face? As for PENGASSAN and all of that, look, in some other countries, by now Festus Osifo will be in detention, will be in jail. Bayo Julari of NNPC Limited said, Nigeria lost over 3 days 600,000 barrels of crude oil.
All right.
What is that if not sabotage?
Right.
The National Security Advisor is said to be, talking to these people. No, questions should be raised about labor laws in a dispensation under President Tinubu, who says he's promoting private enterprise. Number two, about the integrity of these new generation labor leaders who will make noise in public and will go and prostrate at night, at midnight, to go and ask for forgiveness. The interest of ordinary people who are involved within that loop is what is affected.
All right, fantastic. I mean, the story about Tunde Bakare, though, Rufai, a quick comment on that. I mean, he's, again, talking about politics. I mean, this time around, he was in a school. I mean, we see these religious leaders, going ahead to speak about, I mean, I thought it was quite weird when he talked about the ADC. The only time he heard about the ADC was a plane crash.
ADC was an airline.
I know that. 101%.
With all respect,
yes.
I think that was the most insensitive thing to have said. Because there were families and lives that were lost in that ADC plane crash, I will remember. And please do not bring their family members into politics. As regards the claim of that they set up the APC together, if you tell some people to write the history of APC, they will say otherwise. But the likes of Mr. Tunde Bakare, Pastor Tunde Bakare, came in from the CPC fold. So he is known to come from different political parties and they morph into the APC. And he'll be loyal to the APC, definitely. In fact, he'll be loyal to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his very good friend, that he tried to go against in the last election cycle, but things didn't go in his favor. And now he has gone to visit Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the country, his very good friend, and they've sorted out things. So it's still in his best interest because, when you also wait, the opposition is largely in disarray. And I'm sure he has done his calculation that there's a strong possibility that, President Tinubu and the APC have stability leading up to 27 election. So he would definitely go where he's, bread is buttered and where he has, concession and friendships and things like that. So you see, it's just the normal political thinking of average Nigerian politician, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. For them, it's just like Bayo Adelabu saying in Lokan. It's about them. You see, 3 reasons why politicians run in Nigeria. For their ego, for their friends and family, to be able to wield political power, to be able to wield influence. The people is always last on the pecking order. Nobody runs. Nobody spends that amount of money they spend in running for politics because they want to better their lives. If they want to better their lives, they would rather be content doing charity and go and set up NGO. But they are not for that. They are for power. That's all they want. And that's why they come and say, Lokan. And really, in all fairness, he's been running for a while. And, because when you look at it on the pecking order, Sheyi, Makinde is fast living. These were the contemporaries that they've been running for a bit. If he gets APC ticket, what
did you say?
All right. Okay, so very quickly on the 2 stories.
Yes. Do you mind if I take this one and then you can tie in the religion aspect of of
Yes,
Tunde Bakare. I know that's what you wrote. Well, speaking about religion, over the weekend, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu called on Nigerians to rise above religious division using his own marriage as an example of interfaith harmony. The president spoke in Jos Plateau State during the funeral service of Lydia Yilwata, mother of APC National Chairman Nentawe Yilwata. The president revealed that while he practices Islam, his wife, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, is a pastor, yet their faiths have never caused conflict. Let's take a look.
Hate is not an option for us. Love is what you preach, that we should love one another. Nobody determined what God has ordained. I inherit Islam from my family. I didn't change. But my wife is a pastor. She prays for me. No conflict. And I never did at any single time to convince her or convert her. I believe in the freedom of religion. We are praying to the same God.
I really, really like this speech by the president, the father of the nation, calling for religious harmony. I think it's beautiful. Your thoughts?
I think very well said, especially in light of the reports that have come through in recent times around genocide, Christian genocide, and him positioning. But as I often say, it's beyond words. We want to see action. I like that he gave a personal example of the marriage between him and his wife. In addition to promoting religious unity, I think the president should also take very seriously ethnic unity, especially because in his own state, we've seen a rise in, intolerance and rhetorics that he ought to come out and condemn flatly. Even using his own personal example, his wife shares heritage from different parts of the nation. So I think it's important for him to make statements like this, and not just make statements like this, call to order some of the people who are speaking in favor of his government and speaking ill about other ethnic or religious groups, and remove himself away from it, saying that what we want in Nigeria is one Nigeria where love, peace, and unity can reign. And so he's said very well. Now, in terms of Christianity or religion and politics, I was going to go a bit theological on you this morning, because when it comes to Pastor Tunde Bakare, I don't think he's ever hidden the fact that he has his political side. And if you look at the Bible, there are men and women who played important roles in the politics of the day. But the difference with that time, if you look at Joseph, if you look at Daniel, even Esther is like Pastor Remi Tinubu, who was married to a king who was not Christian. And what they did was that they used their influence and the morals and their faith to do good for their people. So I'm hoping that they would also do the same thing. It's not just speaking. And I think it's a bit divisive when you lead a congregation of multiple parties to speak for one party. As a father, he should be an elder statesman. I mean, with all due respect to him, at this point is to see how to bring the nation to the promised land. Finally, Mr. Adelabu, if he can fix the power problem, I'll go to Oyo and vote for him.
You vote for him?
I will go to Oyo. You know what I'm saying? That he said that he's campaigned a number of times. When he became Minister of Power, he had the prime opportunity to get the vote in the bag. Because if he could, I will go and register, Dr. Bati, for that sake.
Are you from any local government in Oyo State?
Okay, I'll take Governor Kwebolo's advice and go and mobilize 2 million people to vote for him in Oyo State.
You can do that.
Saying that he had that opportunity to show by working. If only our politics in Nigeria was based on competence and showing workings with regards to what you have done with the responsibility, not just by coming out to say that Lokan. That's not how you should win elections in a sane country.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Mediocrity pays to greatness.
Politics was based on competence. There are some people that are leading the country today that ought not to lead the country. They've been serial failures, but it is only in this country that when a politician... It is only in this country that when the politician fails, he will beg that I should repeat the class.
All right. Well said, guys.
I should do it again.
One man once repeated the class with that adage. what came out of it. I don't want to mention names.
More disaster.
Don't repeat.
No, I didn't say so, please. The innuendo can be classified.
All right, let's move on. Let's take the story now from Kano State, where the government has deployed 380 anti-phone snatching marshals to tackle the rising menace of street crimes, especially phone theft across the state. The newly inducted marshals were reported to have undergone rigorous training sessions for 2 weeks, covering physical fitness, close order combat, and advanced surveillance tactics. The anti-phone marshals thanked the governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, for the initiative.
To His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, we really appreciate. May Almighty Allah continue to bless him and his family.
Use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to the Governor of Kano State for feeding us throughout these weeks that we spend in this training school, because we ate very well.
Dr. Mati, they ate very well. This story has been trending. I mean, I think, finding ways to get our youth involved in this sort of, programs can be quite helpful. But phone theft is what really the governor is focusing on this first batch of recruits.
Okay, in the 1930s,
yes,
when they had the Great Depression, one of the things that I think it was Herbert Hoover, and after him, Franklin Roosevelt did, was to create jobs for people. Just give them an opportunity, keep the people busy, so that at least they can have a sense of hope. I hope that what they are facing in Kano State is not similar to the Great Depression of 1930s America, where the governor would say, well, we have a number of, disoriented people. Let's just find something to keep them busy. So Governor Yusuf now creating a marshal for phone thefts. It appears like, something just to give something to keep miscreants busy within the economy. Otherwise, it will look like something strange to many observers. 380 anti-crime marshals with an assignment to look for people who are stealing phones. I can't imagine how they will, what is their mode of operation, what is the scope of their brief, and they are not a law enforcement agency.
No,
what
but
is
they've been trained for physical...
no, they can't go about employing jungle justice.
Go ahead.
What is the connection with the Nigeria police? Because the Nigeria police is the body that can enforce the law, including theft.
Yes.
So do we have a structure in place in Kano State where if they are able to get a phone thief, they will liaise with the police? And then this phone theft, how many people have phones in Kano State? Have they done? No. It's very important.
It's a menace. That's why
it's very important, because in terms of the data, the empirical evidence, so is it everybody in Kano State that is carrying phone? And would 380 marshals be able to cover the entire state? I mean, Kano State has one of the largest local government structures. So are they going to be everywhere, 380 of them?
Yes.
In fact, if they were deployed in Kano City alone, they won't be able to monitor the theft of phones. Phone theft, of course, is a major problem.
Right.
These days, when you even go to London, if you handle your phone carelessly, they will advise you to hold on to your phone.
This is it.
London is not even a place where you will see a random person and you say, help me take a phone. They will say, what if I escape with your phone?
Did you see the pastor that was actually preaching live and they snatched his phone?
So I know that it's a problem everywhere, but it cannot be the major priority for Kano State. But Governor Yusuf, I understand, has been doing a lot. He's been in the news in terms of service provision for the people. But, well, maybe he just wants to help a number of miscreants and keep them busy.
Help a number of miscreants. I think it's very important. It's a fair point to keep our youth busy. But they also said that...
You take
the miscreants.
Help people. Maybe he wants to help
better than amnesty.
He needs to take them off the street.
It's better now.
Help people, not miscreants.
But they also said that their initiative also supports, engagement with youth and drug and all of that sort of program. So I think it's great. It's a great empowerment. So I will now say kudos
take
to
drugs. Yes. They are miscreants.
So Dr.
It's not good to abuse drugs.
Well, all right.
It's not good to abuse drugs.
I think it's important, the engagement with the youth, really. Shall we now take our good news report, celebrating renowned author Chimamanda Adichie, who has made history by receiving the first Felix Judd Prize for defiant thinking in recognition of her groundbreaking contributions to literature. Well, the Felix Judd Prize, inspired by the legacy of German bookseller Felix Judd, honors individuals who champion resistant thinking and challenge the status quo through their works. Adichie becomes the first inaugural recipient of this prestigious recognition, cementing her position as one of the world's most influential literary voices. The award acknowledges Adichie's remarkable body of work, which includes internationally acclaimed novels and essays that have sparked global conversations about feminism, race, identity, and human dignity.
Courage means refusing to make the abnormal normal. We must continue to think, and to think defiantly. Because reading teaches us how to dream. Not everyone is able to speak up bluntly, but everyone has the capacity to hold these ideas close, to refuse to make what is not normal, normal, despite all circumstances.
Congratulations, Chimamanda Adichie, on winning the inaugural Felix Judd Prize. Being the first recipient adds another major honor to her list and continues Nigeria's legacy of world-recognized literary giants like Professor Wole Soyinka and Chinua Achebe. Now to our milestones. Fidelity Bank hosted a special evening celebrating Professor Benedict Oramah, president of the African Export-Import Bank, AFREXIM, on Thursday, October 2nd. The bank recognized his visionary leadership and transformative impact on Africa's economy after a remarkable decade at the helm of the institution. Born on July 24th, 1961, Professor Oramah's journey from agricultural economist to one of Africa's most influential bankers is nothing short of extraordinary. Since assuming the presidency of AFREXIM Bank in September 2015, he has grown the institution's assets sixfold from $5 billion to an impressive $37 billion by 2023. The celebration, curated by Fidelity Bank CEO Dr. Nneka Onyeali-Ikpe, was attended by Nigerian ministers Anatu Musanwa, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, and Doris Anete, as well as Governors Dakwa Abiodun and Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and former Anambra Governor Peter Obi. Professor Benedict Oramah's achievements are staggering. He's been named African Banker of the Year twice, received the Forbes Africa Person of the Year award in 2023, and was honored with the prestigious Mohammed Bakindo Lifetime Achievement Award just months ago. Oramah holds Nigeria's Commander of the Order of the Niger, Cameroon's Knight of the Order of Valor, and Russia's Order of Friendship, a testament to his global influence. The highlight of the night was a performance by high life musician Flavor.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here. Zobu, zobu, reigning by Toya dike, menu dike. Toya dike, menu dike. Iye jamara dike ruenu, ebwe chenjigo. Iye jamara dike ruenu, ebwe dagarigo.
What a celebration, an honor to a Nigerian man who has truly put Africa on the global financial map. Congratulations, Professor Benedict Oramah. We had a video there. Dr. Avati.
Very quickly, we would like to thank Fidelity Bank and particularly Dr. OjyOkpe for putting that event together.
Yes, it was beautiful.
There, you were the anchor.
I was the anchor of the night.
And it was a beautiful evening.
Yes.
Second, congratulations to Professor Benedict Oramah, a professor of agricultural economics who rose from Nexim Bank to the top at Afrexim Bank. And he represented Nigerian well. One of the diamonds that we celebrate.
Very good.
And he has done very well.
Thank you. Congratulations, Professor Benedict Oramah.